Hey guys, welcome to the cold south. It got cold tonight, and you know what that means? That means I had to run home, put on a bunch of chicken, get a bunch of broth ready, and get ready to make chicken and dumplings. And you see this? Southern women cannot cook without their hands. I mean, we have to use our hands. And I've sifted about 1.5 cups of flour, and I've almost committed a cardinal sin today because the store was out of white lily, and I had to buy Martha White. So Martha White, you better do me proud every time. And you see, this is I call that a dollop. That's a dollop of Crisco. And we're going to blend the Crisco in with our flour. And again, it's sifted flour. I sifted it, and I got a little bit impatient. My sifter's not too fast. So I sift. And you crumple that all up. And then this is the trick. See that? It just, some of this flour volunteers to get in there, and the rest stays on the side. It just says, nah, I don't want to play. So we're going to do that. Now, here we go. Mayfield milk. And if y'all don't live in the South, you don't know a flipping thing about Mayfield milk. Southern cooks cannot cook without Mayfield milk. And I might add, sometimes I use buttermilk, but today, plain milk. Just plain old 2% milk. And you see how you're just volunteering for that flour to jump in there? And the flour's just jumping right in there, and it's doing what it's supposed to do. And that's the important part. You have to, my granny never got the dough in her hands. I have never learned the technique. Y'all like my bracelet? See my bracelet? That's my man. That's my man. Okay, there we go. And you just, I have volunteered all this flour to the middle of it. And basically, I do my biscuit dough the exact same way. So, and I'm just giving it a little flour on the edge and being real sweet to it and being gentle because we don't want them to get hard and tough. Now, I use milk and Crisco because Crisco will do you proud every time. But I know somebody who makes dumplings with water, and his are completely different than mine, totally different texture. Mine will be light and fluffy, and some people like the dense dumplings. So you have to decide, what do you like? Do you want them light and fluffy? I like them light and fluffy. My granny made them light and fluffy. That's the way I like them. You pinch them off, you drop them in there, and one of the first things you learn is you do not stir these suckers. You let them just boil and cook till they get done. And you shake the pot. If you think you need to give it a little help, you just shake that bad boy a little bit. So it's real simple. And again, it's one of those things, this is tried and true because this is the way my granny did it. If my granny did it, it had to be right. And you will see when I finish this recipe, I am into black pepper. There's something else about the South and black pepper. We got this thing about it. We don't care that it's black and turns our food black like a lot of people want white pepper because it doesn't change the look of your food, but we don't care about that. We love the taste of that black pepper. It's so good. And again, they're not too big, but they are going to be fluffy. And I just pinch them off. Some folks roll them, some folks cut them. Folks do different things, but this, you got to remember, my cookbook is called Simple, Southern, and Scrumptious. There's a reason. It's got to be simple. It's got to be simple. Working 2 or 3 jobs, raising a house full of kids, and being on the run all the time, I didn't have a choice. It had to be simple. If it wasn't simple, it didn't get done at the house. So, and you see this? We are not going to stir these bad boys. We are not going to stir them. You see what you do? And you just let them get around that broth, and they just make friends with those dumplings that are right beside them. It's a sight in this world at how much they love to do this. They just jump right in that hot broth, and they just make friends, and then I can add more, and I can add more, and it kind of keeps them from sticking together. And I do it till I cover the top really good, and then some of them will float around a little bit. And you see the amount I did. This is not my biggest pot. This will make enough for about probably 4 to 6 people. And when I cooked for Scotty Mayfield, I made enough for about 30 people, and he was just blown away. He's like, oh my gosh. But you can adjust your recipe for, are you doing a big crowd? Are you doing just for your family? What you got going on that day, you know, and you just adjust your recipe, because everybody knows a recipe is just a beginning. You see that? How simple is that? And I can guarantee you, these dumplings are going to be good. I promise you they're going to be good. And my granny would be here whining because I've got dough on my hands, because she never got dough on her hands. It drove me crazy. And I have tried all my life to do it like Granny, and I just can't figure it out. And she's gone on to be with the Lord, so she can't sit here and fuss at me and tell me what to do, so I'm just on my own. But you see how quickly, this is less than 5 minutes. And we've got those bad boys in there, and they're gonna be cooking. And in about 20 minutes or so, we're gonna have chicken and dumplings. It's gonna be 28 degrees tonight. And to me, that just hollers chicken and dumplings. Get me some chicken and dumplings. Chicken and dumplings, and maybe a peach cobbler or something else warm. You know, you want to serve warm food to your family. And I don't know about y'all, but we're tired of leftovers. Lord have mercy. Thanksgiving was awesome. It was awesome, but the leftovers are about gone. And I'm about proud of how they are. You see how those things are just bubbling up? And you just keep shaking them, till you make sure you get broth on all of them. And I'm going to wash my hands, and I'm going to add some more black pepper to it, because you can never have enough black pepper. Never. And this is one of those recipes, I mean, it took so few ingredients. And remember, Crisco, you can use butter-flavored Crisco, you can use regular Crisco. And again, some people use buttermilk. I use buttermilk when I make biscuits. I do try to get Mayfield milk, because honestly, there's just something about it. It is the best stuff. And again, this is a hot supper for 4 to 6 people. It's a budget meal. Now, somebody I know would add this to his dumplings. He makes the firm dumplings, and he adds a can of cream of mushroom. Okay, are we going to vote? Do we want to add cream of mushroom to it or not? What do you think? Yes. So we'll probably add some when they're almost done. I didn't used to do that, and my granny will probably roll over in her grave, because she was not a mushroom eater at all. But again, you see what they're going to do? We're just going to keep letting them do their thing, and it's amazing. It's just amazing. We're going to add, and these are my great-grandmother's salt and pepper shakers. I've had them for a long time. Lots of black pepper. Lots of black pepper. A little bit more salt. And again, toward the end, I'm going to add the cream of mushroom soup. I didn't used to use it, but after I tried it, it does add a little bit of flavor to them. So, and again, this is one of those recipes. I literally got home from work, got this done, no time, doesn't take any time at all to do it. And let me get a... See how the broth is beginning to thicken? So you don't have to do anything to it, just enough flour comes off of the dumplings to thicken the broth. And again, you see what size bowl I used, and I used about 1.5 cups of flour, and then I used a big dollop of Crisco, and I did, my phone was ringing. Did y'all hear my phone ring? My phone always rings. My phone never shuts up. But I'm not going to answer it right now. But this, again, you see how it's already beginning to thicken, and I've broken up the chicken pieces and put them in there. And so we've got that going on. Is that not cool? And in 20 minutes, we will have dumplings. I think I'm going to go ahead and add the cream of mushroom. I didn't used to do this, but it does add a little bit of flavor to it. So who am I to judge? Somebody who gave me a tip, and I'm going to pass that tip along to y'all. And it's something, again, that I never did before. And I just add it into the soup and let it kind of work its way around. And this is just Campbell's cream of mushroom. And there'll be somebody out there that says, oh, I don't like mushrooms. Well, you can't really tell they're in there. It's just the flavor. Just adds a little special flavor. So there you go. There you go. And I just put it down. Most of the time I would put it in at the beginning of the broth, but I wanted y'all to see it as it is without it. But it does add that little touch of flavor. My granny would say, what is that taste in there I taste? I taste something a little different. So, but again, how simple is that? 10-minute meal. 10 minutes, you cook it 20 minutes and 30 minutes. Rachel rated everything in 30 minutes. That's 30 minutes. So there you go. And it'll be ready shortly, and we will dip it up and serve it. And another thing that's great to serve with this is if you want to do one vegetable, if you want to do a broccoli slaw, which would be great to have on the side. Something simple. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple, keep it southern, keep it scrumptious. And I guarantee you people will be coming in saying, what you got cooking now? Again, this started with chicken broth. We had taken the chicken off the bones, put the chicken in, and you saw how we did the dumplings. Flour, a little bit of Crisco, and again, normally I use White Lily, but they were out of that, so I got Martha White. And I think Martha's doing okay. I think she's got it going on tonight. And just don't stir these dumplings, just shake them. Just shake them, shake them, shake them, shake them, shake them, and before you know it, they will be done, and they will be happy. And they will be feeding about 4 to 6 people. And again, what's left of this, I'm going to really do something cool. I'm not going to make it tonight because I don't have any lemons, but tomorrow I'm going to make chicken piccata soup. And I've got some broth left over and I've got some chicken left over. So tomorrow, when it gets cold weather, I just got to do something that warms your bones. And, you know, there's something about cold weather and chicken and dumplings. There's something about cold weather and a big old pot of soup. So, and you know, for long we'll have to cook a pot of soup beans because I've got all that ham that we had left off the bone for Thanksgiving. So you freeze that and then you make a pot of soup beans. This is just cold weather cooking. So, and very, very simple. Easy, easy, easy. Okay, guys, there's your lesson. Simple, southern, and scrumptious. What more do you want? Wow. Yum. Yum.